What up, everybody? Since I didn't do a Georgia Ole Miss game reaction right after the game, I'm just going to kind of give you an after-game analysis, if you will. I've went back and watched it several times. I was going to talk a little bit about that. I felt like Georgia played well offensively. It was nice to see the offensive line get in a groove. It was nice to see Ernest Green get back in action and actually look like himself. It was nice to be able to see some rotation on the offensive line. Something we haven't got to see a whole lot of in a healthy way this year. It's been a lot of, we got to shuffle things around because somebody's banged up. And it seems like we're finally starting to get a little healthy at that particular spot. Colby Young goes down early in the game. Really unfortunate. Kirby said it's not good. It's a fracture. Just very unfortunate for him. I'm pretty sure he's a fifth-year senior. Hate to see that. Somebody who's been pretty consistently good on this Georgia offense all year to go down in that big of a moment in that game. And he was poised to have a really big day. He had started off hot, and something just tells me had he not have got hurt, he was probably going to have 100 and 130 yards receiving easy, because Ole Miss was not going to be able to cover him. That was obvious. Branch had a solid game. I like what I seen from Branch. Took a little bit more of a role of the mid-range receiving. The curl routes and the in routes and some of those mid-range type of routes. We got to see a little bit more from him since Colby went down. When Colby went down, I remember telling my father-in-law, I was like, man, I would really like to see Noah Thomas come in and make some meaningful plays, in which it didn't end up happening. But what we did get was a heavy dose of Dylan Bell. And I thought Dylan Bell played exceptionally well. He's been a gamer ever since he's been at Georgia. Not the most athletic or not the most fast, but he's always been a stable receiver. He's always been a dude that don't complain. He comes in, does his thing, and you could just tell from his body language, he's just a team guy. And you gotta love to have guys like that on your football team. And I'm sure Kirby does. So Dylan Bell steps up. Chauncey Bowens back to looking like he's in normal form, like what I seen out of him. Gunner, look, Gunner just keeps doing it. He keeps on proving everybody wrong. It was a couple of weeks ago, everybody was saying, oh, Gunner sucks, and we need to put in Puglisi, and all these people were talking all this shit. And I was like, man, just settle down. Settle down. People got to remember, this is only like Gunner's, 8th start or whatever it is. It's not like this guy has 2 seasons of football behind him and he's playing like shit. Carson Beck. So I'm really proud of Gunner. He did a great job managing that offense and being a playmaker. Not just managing it, but being right in the center of it. And then, then they have a thing that comes out midweek and we find out that he was hurt during the game and that Kirby and Bobo were going to limit his runs and try to not let him run the ball as much, and that he had approached Kirby and was like, no, coach, I need to run the ball. My guys need to see me run the ball. And I just think that shows exceptional leadership, shows a guy who's like, I would never ask my teammates to do something that I wouldn't do. And those guys ball for him. They really do. So offense looked great. Defensively, not so much. All the way up until the last, 2 Ole Miss possessions, I believe it was. Georgia's defense was getting just slobber knockered. So I don't know what to make of it. Is Ole Miss's offense really that good? Because we've seen Tennessee do this to our defense too. Or is Georgia's defense really just playing this bad? I mean, what do we have, like 2 sacks on the season? We're probably the worst team in the SEC at sacks. We probably have the lowest pressure rate out of any SEC defense in the league. It's bad. But what I will give this team and this defense credit for is when they have to have it, they do it. They make it happen. They'll find a way to get a stop. They'll find a way to get enough pressure to alter the play. And it's resiliency. Kirby's absolutely right. This team is resilient. And I do think it'll pay dividends as you move forward. But you have to wonder, is that pass rush and that defense, that secondary, can it continue to get better to a point where we can compete with some of the more elite offenses and defenses that we're going to see in the college football playoff if we make it that far? I'm not very sure. I don't know. I've never seen this version of Georgia under Kirby Smart. I've never seen a Georgia defense look like this under Kirby Smart. So I'm a little taken back by that. I don't know exactly what to make of it. But Kirby is an excellent coach, and I would never bet against him. But I just don't know what we have right now. I know we got resiliency, and I know we have an offense that can flip a switch and turn it on and score points with anybody. But Ole Miss's defense is not very good. I think we need to establish that right now. They're not very good. What's going to happen when we go up against a team like, let's just use them for an example, Ohio State, who's got an elite offense and an elite defense? So if your defense can't stop their offense, can you score on that defense consistently? I don't know. So that just leads me to say I think Georgia's defense is going to have to get better if we're going to compete. We don't have to have a 2021 or 2022 defense, but it's going to have to be better than it is. But anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on that. I thought Georgia showed resiliency. And I feel like we have a good football team. I just don't know how good. Y'all have a great day. Go Dogs.